Okay, so you was tasked to write down what you think will happen when this program was to execute. Now, this is an example of what we call a for loop, and it is the second type of iteration that you've now been introduced to. Now, a for loop is what we call a count controlled loop. And with a count controlled loop, it simply means that the code is going to repeat, for the set number of times that you tell it to iterate. So if you tell it to repeat 10 times, like we've got here, it will run 10 times. If we change this to a 50 here, it will repeat 50 times. Once the code has iterated 50 times, or in this case 10 times, the loop will end and the next line of code will execute. And in fact, just to demonstrate this, I'm just going to quickly add a second line of code here, which simply will output end to show you the end of the iteration as we run through this program here. So let's take a look at the syntax for a for loop. Now, like the while loop, we of course start off with the key command, this time of course being for. Then we've got an I here. Now the I is actually a variable. Now the variable is currently storing the value 0 because this links here now to this range function, which actually creates a sequence of numbers. Now in the parentheses here we've got the number 10, and again this is just going to tell the program how many times we want the program to loop, to repeat itself. Line 2 is saying print I. So this is basically just going to output whatever value the variable I currently is. And as I said at the moment, I is currently being stored as a 0 because computers always start counting from 0. So let's run through this program and see what happens. I'm going to run line 1, and in our global frame here we can see our variable I is currently stored as a 0. We're going to run line 2, which is print I, so it's going to output 0, and then the program loops back round, and what happens every single time the program iterates, the variable I will increase by 1, turning currently I 0 into a 1. So there we go, you can see I is now increased, and we're going to output line 2 print I, which is now 1. Again, it's not looped 10 times yet, so it's going to loop back round again, increasing by 1 every time, turning the I, now 1, into a 2, like so. And it will continue to do this. And you can see every single time I'm iterating through the sequence, the variable I is increasing by 1. So currently, there we go, currently the variable I is at 8. And now I'm going to iterate it through once more. Now it's currently at 9. Now, because we've told the program to iterate 10 times, remember, computers start counting from 0. So we're not actually going to see 10 ever be output on the program because it's already looped 10 times. If you count through 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, on the 10th attempt, that's the end of the loop. So we'll never actually see 10 output. So if you want it to actually output the numbers 0 to 10, you would need to change that to an 11. So now it's iterated through 10 times, it's done what I've asked it to do. What's going to happen now? It's going to output 9, and then finally that's it. The variable I is now going to change to 10, and because 10's been met, it's going to break out of the loop like so, and it's gone straight to line 4, and it's going to print end. And that is the syntax for a for loop. That is how a for loop can be written. We use the for variable in range, how many times you want it to iterate, and then you've seen it work. That is it.